Tickets now at telecharge.com.
Yes, indeed. For Color Girls. It's at the Booth Theater here in New York City. And one of the stars of this magnificent play is someone who's been putting this down for quite some time. A lot of us first got to meet her on the television screen from making the band, but she was already making moves prior to that. This was a part of her journey. This was a part of her destiny. She went to a performance art high school, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Right? She even studied at the Ailey School.
Let's go.
Which is amazing to have done that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Okay.
And at New York University, Tisch School of the Arts.
You better let them know.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. That's my daughter just graduated from there.
Big flex.
Come on. So she's on the right path. But, you know, even prior, post-TV, she continued her journey. She continued her destiny. And right now she's arrived and she's on Broadway.
Yeah.
You know, and you don't often hear these kind of stories have to be. Yeah, people don't always continue to dream. But she's continued well into her journey. Welcome her back to the show, the one and only d.woods. Yo, so you always knew this is what you wanted to do. From what age?
3 years old.
Wait a minute.
3. Wow.
Yeah.
What was happening at 3 for your brain to be like, all right, got it?
I don't know. My mom and my dad, I have a sister. You all know my sister, Chanel. She was signed to Young Money Entertainment.
Yes.
We were just very rambunctious children, and my mom needed a day off. So Saturdays, she put us in dance class, and we got the bug. We got bit by the bug. You know, we wanted to be on stage. We were making up routines in the backyard, in the basement. We started doing theater. In Springfield, Massachusetts, where I was raised. My first play was August Wilson's Fences.
Wow.
I was the young character, Raynell.
Wow.
The daughter that comes in at the end. So my sister and I split the role because we're children, you know, like child labor laws and everything. Yeah. We split the role and we were just like, yeah, let's do it. And it just snowballed from there. We didn't have those kind of like momager, dadager type parents, but they just saw we had a passion and they just kept letting us do it.
Wow.
So here we are.
Here we are. d.woods, man. She never let it go. And rightfully so. And you were telling a story off mic because I think representation is so important. You know what I mean? When I was growing up, it was Leroy from Fame and Debbie Allen and, you know, Irene Cara, all of these different folks from Fame that really kind of made me go, wow, something about performing I like. You know, we used to do a lot of dance classes too. My sister was a dance instructor, you know, and something about entertainment kind of appealed to me. What was some early representation you may have seen on TV or somebody that motivated you to do what you're doing?
Well, once upon a time, there was this show called The Real World. And
she's doing the intro.
You know, I was flipping through the television. My parents used to joke and call me the TV guy because I always knew what was on.
Wow.
You know, and I watched The Real World and I saw you, Heather B.
Wow.
You and Kevin Powell.
Yes. Shout out to Kevin Powell, who just wrote an excellent piece on Kendrick Lamar's album.
Ooh.
My goodness.
I need to listen to that album. That's on my list. But I actually used some of Kevin's writing at NYU for some of my papers and stuff.
Wow.
So yes, but I remember watching The Real World and saying, wow, that's such a cool show. Man, they probably ain't gonna have a show like that by the time I'm old enough to be on a show like that. They're gonna do away with that. Little did I know.
No. and to end up on the same network.
MTV.
You know what I mean? Like
doing reality TV.
Like it just sounds like we had a guest here yesterday, Ray Angry, and he was talking about his parents and him being a musician and composer. That, you know, God will literally just like ordain your life.
Yes.
Like this is what you're supposed to be doing. And I think when we tap in and get into agreement with God about that, it's amazing. Like to hear you say that to me sitting here, I mean, you were like, what, 6 or 7 years old? We are coming up, and I'm not embarrassed to say it, but May 21st will make 30 years.
Wow.
Of this year since that show first aired on television.
30 years.
So I can't even imagine what it must have looked like to her at 7 years old, 7 years old, and seeing me at 20 on television. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
did it make you believe you can do it?
Well, I will say that y'all represented for us because a lot of the way you and Kevin navigated yourselves on that show taught me how to, navigate my journey.
Wow.
In a white space on a network. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I was like, look, you got to be playing chess. They ain't going to let you, you know what I'm saying? So I thought about y'all. I thought about what I saw. I thought about the other characters not characters or people who had been on other iterations. And I navigated my steps that way. I chose my words very carefully. I chose how to represent myself, things that I wanted to present about myself, because they will create a character for you, and you have to find a way to draw outside the lines and make an audience ask their own questions. Like, well, that can't be like that because she's representing like this, or she was reading this book, or she was wearing that T-shirt, or things like that I would do purposely because I knew how it was being edited. And I was like, well, if I'm sitting here reading The Fire Next Time by James Baldwin, why are you trying to make me seem like I'm a ghetto bird? It's gonna make somebody say, well, that's probably not who she really is.
So smart.
Just little
tidbit, little things. And I want to give some credit to, well, thank you first and foremost for those kind words, but your parents, Sway and I, Tracy, were talking about parents this morning and parental. And I think for me, my parents, since that had never been done before, my father in particular was always in the back of my head. My mother, don't get on no damn television and embarrass us. Right. We taught you better than that. And so I feel like your parents also, you have them in the back of your head. You have to take them with you. And so thank you. Maybe me and Kevin just represent on a different level, but you sound like you had a great foundation. So shout out to your parents as well.
And it also sounds
Yes.
It also sounds like you had such a high level of awareness at an early age. That's why I was like, dang, at 3 you knew what you wanted to do. At 6 you're watching Heather B and you're able to know, let me take these quotes, what I'm putting in the back of my pocket because I'm going to need them for later. And it makes me wonder, like, I feel like probably every other year there's a conversation about making the band, and a lot of the folks that were in various seasons will share their experiences with Puff. And the last time we spoke about this, we ended up having a conversation with our listeners on if we viewed that show as more so a show or more so this is a group that they're putting together. When you were doing that, what would you say? Would you say that you looked at it mainly as a show, or you looked at it mainly as, no, a group is being put together?
Well, I'm an artist first, so I wasn't going on this show to be a reality TV star. I was out here auditioning. I was trying to work. I was trying to, start my career.
Yeah.
So anything that I was doing was to start my career. And I had, instructors and mentors who built me up and who prepared me, and they said, don't limit yourself. Like, if there's an opportunity, if there's a door, you get in the room and you show what you got. Another one of my current acting coaches, her name is Christine Horn. Shout out to Christine.
Yes.
But also Christine trained with another acting coach of ours, Freddie Hendricks. So we just kind of pass around the torch of like building each other up. But she says, even if you don't book the job, you book the room.
Boom.
I like that.
Shout out to you, Christine Horn.
You might have to say that again.
Yes. Christine Horn said, even if you don't book the job, you book the room.
Yeah.
So even before she said that to me, but I've been carrying that mantra around for the last few years, I was like, well, I'm going to go to this audition and I'm going to represent whether or not I get this slot on this show in this group. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna represent. Y'all gonna know that I'm dope, and you're gonna see me later because we always cross paths. Like, look, we're crossing paths again now.
Yeah, man, that's been years for us.
Yeah, and as long as you don't stop, you will continue on, and you'll see the same people as you go up and as you come down, as you go sideways and diagonal. You know, so that was my that was my mantra or going into it. I was there to start my career. I wasn't. Whether or not it was on TV or whether or not we were going straight to the venue or a black box theater or we were performing on the street, I was doing my craft.
You dope, d.woods.
Yes,
totally. You are dope. So it's interesting because to Tracy's point, you do hear a lot of the testimonials, and it's interesting how folks view a opportunity. Like, you never know what opportunity is going to bring. And sometimes we visualize what we think opportunity is, and then you get in it, and it's not what you thought it was going to be.
Right.
Right? And so you start blaming the opportunity when the opportunity was what it was all along. So when I hear stories of Puff ruined my life, I don't judge that. I just wish folks understand. I would take it as, well, that was just one opportunity. That didn't work out the way perhaps you thought it was.
Right.
But that wasn't the end all be all, was it?
No, it's never. Nothing is ever the end all be all, unless you let it be. You know. You know, they say one monkey don't stop no show. You know, so it's like, I'm gonna keep going. Your no is gonna be someone else's yes. This closed door is gonna open up a window across the street. You know. And as long as you are always walking, you know, in your purpose and you're being respectful, you know, humble, you know, people will remember that. They'll remember the experience they had with you, and they'll want to work with you again. Yeah. You know, they'll give you another shot, or another opportunity will be better suited for what you really are capable of, you know. So yeah, but it's a human you know, emotion to go through those bitter feelings, or those feelings of disappointment or being broken. I've been broken too, you know, and I had to pick myself up and patch myself together and ask questions like, okay, so did I force a situation that maybe there were some flags, maybe there were some exit signs that I ignored because ego was driving me and I wanted what I wanted when I wanted it, you know? I wrote a show about it. It's called Would You Like to Hear? Here you go. I've been developing a one-woman show. It's called Trouble in Paradise. And we mounted it in Atlanta right before the new year, and it was a great success. I hope I'm going to be able to do it in New York. But it tackles a lot of mental health issues, a lot of issues of, you know, pressures of success, of making it, people-pleasing, social media, you know, all the social ills that we're dealing with, and how sometimes we're just not okay, and it's okay to not be okay, but you have to look at yourself in the mirror and have those conversations. We have a lot of high functioning depression out here.
Yes.
And you know, going through this industry will make you face some demons.
It's demonic at times, and you won't even believe what you're seeing. You looking at it, and you just almost like creating your own image of it, so it could be okay for you to finish out wherever you need.
Gaslight yourself.
Absolutely. But on a brighter note, Patrick Ian Polk. Who we love. He's a citizen here at Sway in the Morning. I've known Patrick probably now for over 25 years.
Patrick came to the show, didn't he?
Blackbird. That's what I want to talk to you about. Patrick is very hard to impress. Like, he just is. He's an artist himself. What was your audition process like to get into that film? Because I mean, I know you've done a lot of things, but I'm highly impressed that you were in Blackbird, because he's not easy.
Well,
to impress. Shout
out to Patrick.
Yes, P.I.P.
Hey. Well, I because that was one of the first major films that I did, you know, post Danity Kane, and I really wanted a role that was not going to be like, oh, she just got that because she's a singer. Oh, she trying to act now. You know what I'm saying? I wanted something that would like really make people be like, wait a minute, D.woods in his own. Oh, and then that's the reaction people have. If you haven't seen the movie, I'm not going to give you a spoiler. But people were like, you should have told me that was going to happen. But I liked the script so much. One of the producers, actually, I met through, because he was working with Young Money. He was doing a lot of the video production of Young Money videos. Okay. His name is Keith Brown. And I heard about the film, and I was like, Keith, let me get an audition. You know, sometimes, you know, closed mouth don't get fed. You know what I'm saying? You just got to ask, you know. So let me get an audition. He was like, all right, sent me the script for one character. I read for that, and he's like, actually, let me see you do this other character. Did that on tape. Then I had to go in and do it in person. Wow. And then then I got it. So like they switched me around whichever one they felt I was better suited for, and we got it. And that was a great experience. We was down there in Mississippi.
Yep,
Mississippi.
Yeah, but Patrick's one of the EPs for down in the valley with P Valley. That's
P Valley.
him.
Oh, Patrick did that.
Listen, Patrick
Pat's
is
our
no
guy.
joke.
Yeah,
Citizen.
he's our guy.
Congrats on that, girl. You flipped it.
Trouble in Paradise. And then how soon did you audition for Colored Girls?
Well, actually, Trouble in Paradise has been like a work in progress for a long time. Okay. And I auditioned for Colored Girls first in around this time, 2019.
2019, pre-COVID.
For the good old days.
2019.
Yeah.
Wow.
The good old BC days. But it was for the off-Broadway production that was at the Public Theater. And the story with this is really funny because like it's a lot of resilience because things weren't just handed to me. People sometimes think, "Oh, you d.woods, you just got." No, I had to fight for some things. So auditioned originally for a Lady in Green. Then they wanted me to come in and audition for a Lady in Purple. Then I was in like one of the final callbacks, and we were doing all the dances and all the movement that Camille A. Brown was doing. And I had met Camille while I was at NYU, so she knew me. She knew me as Juanita, and so I'm just kind of like winking at her, in the audition room, like, "Hey, girl, remember me? I'm good. Remember, And then I didn't get it, and they were like, my agent was like, "Wow, this is really unheard of. The public really sent a long apologetic email." That they didn't cast you. Usually they just don't cast you. You just don't hear about it until you see that they cast other people. And you're like, oh, I guess I didn't get the job. But they were really like sorry or felt bad that there weren't enough colors. There weren't enough colors in the rainbow, And I was like, dang, well, if they like me that much, ask them, can I be a understudy?
Right.
And my agent was like, no. And I was like, just ask. I just want to be in the room because I knew what this piece meant to me. I was first introduced to For Color Girls as a 9th grader, and we just keep coming back to it as as Black actresses or artists. We just keep finding ourselves in it, and it means more to you as you live more life. You're like, that's what that means. Oh, but I just knew I wanted to be a part of this moment. And it went all summer, and I didn't get a call. And then right before like Labor Day, they were like, "Is d.woods available?" And I was like, "Yes." And then my agent was like, "Okay, we'll send over the deal memo." I said yes. I didn't even know what they were really asking me to do. When I got the deal memo, it said, "You will be understudying for Lady in Green, Lady in Blue, Lady in Red, and Lady in Yellow."
So you had to learn all those parts?
All of them. And I was like, dang, I can't say no now because I already told them yes. So I just got to do it. And I was just like feeding my brain, like in rehearsal, just like videotaping, shadowing them. And that was probably the hardest job, the hardest 5 months of my life, being on edge because any point in time they could call out and I would go on. And I had to be ready for any one of the 4. So it's like, I watch them come in the theater every day. Okay, she looks like she's healthy. She looks like she's in a good mood.
She ain't got no mask
on.
Coughed.
Did she just cough? Was that a cough? Who coughed?
Like, she was holding her back yesterday, but let me see how she looked today. Okay, she looks like she's good. Okay, cool. Wait a minute. This one's running late. Oh, snap. Oh, shit. But she's usually late. Oh, she's back. She's here. Okay, good.
Wow.
And so,
that's hilarious. Every day.
Wow.
Every day, just being ready, like holding your breath. But when it was done, because I did go on for Lady in Yellow, Lady in Blue, and I ended up closing out the run as Lady in Red. Shout out to Jamie Lawson because she was just in the Batman, the latest Batman movie, and she was actually having to leave the production to start that. And then it got shut down because of COVID, and they got back, and they finished the movie. But anyway, so we finished the run as Lady in Red, and I had to look at myself the next day after the run was over, and I was like, yo, can't nobody tell me nothing.
You gotta pat yourself on the back sometime.
Wow.
You gotta let it be known because not many people are willing to do that.
Yeah.
Encourage yourself.
They think it's easy. Not folks. What are you willing to do?
Right.
What are you willing to do to get to where you want to go? Not people don't want to do that. They just want to be there.
Right.
You have to learn all those different parts.
Right.
Wow.
And now I just have to be one color, thank God.
You're yellow, right?
Yellow, yes.
So, folks, citizens, I'm not sure if you ever been on Broadway. And if you want to go on Broadway, call us up, all right? But if you've been on Broadway, it's such an important medium, right? Yeah. And this particular play for Colored Girls is so powerful for so many reasons. It's just what d.woods said. Every year you learn something new about, oh, that's what that means. That's what this means. Tracy, you're a fan of For Colored Girls, right?
Oh, my gosh. I think I started viewing that at the same age as you. Every year when I was especially in college, they also had a production that came. So it's so incredibly important. And it makes me curious for you, D. At what age do you feel like for a play like that there is a time that a young woman is best suited to view it?
I would say, I mean, because I saw it the first time when I was 14.
She was two when she saw it.
I was rehearsing my Lady in Red, Bo Willie night with Bo Willie at the age of 2. No, but I was 14, and there's things that are gonna go over your head, obviously, because I can't relate, but it's gonna sink in somewhere. It's gonna find its little pocket in the back of your subconscious, and when you actually approach that situation in your life, or maybe you experience it vicariously, your friends are going through it, you'll remember it. Like a line will pop up. Something that Camille A. Brown talked about a lot. She said her mom always said to her, "Don't let anyone take away your stuff." Said that to her since she was a young girl, and come to find out that's one of the lines in the show. And she was like, "Wow, this has been with me through my mother and all my life." And now here she is, the first Black woman to choreograph and direct on Broadway in 65 years, and now the only person, not woman, not Black person, to be nominated for a Tony for the same play, director and choreographer ever in the history of Broadway.
Wow.
With this
Come on,
piece,
Tom,
like,
yeah, baby. Come on, man, get that.
Making history and just like making other now young Black girls say, "I can do that. I can do something like that," like seeing themselves. So I think any age, because there are women who come who are in their 70s and hearing something new in this piece. There are people who are coming to us saying, "I was there in 1976."
Right.
So like, if they were seeing it then, they were probably at a very influential point of their life, and now they're coming back and seeing it, and it means something totally different because they lived.
That's so true. When you're looking out in the audience, a lot of times in Broadway, for a while, you would see just like rich, older white folk that would be in the audience. When that happens, do you ever feel like disappointed when you don't see a lot of people, or do you feel like, oh, this is an opportunity for me to teach, to speak directly to a demographic that maybe I wouldn't have the opportunity to do so?
Sometimes it's a little bit of both. I won't lie, because we love when we have us in the audience, because it's just an understanding. It's just like it's something we don't have to explain. They know, we know our references, we know our mannerisms. Especially with this play, we are very unapologetically Black, okay? And Camille asked us to be more authentic, the most authentic of ourselves that we can be. And so we're really not holding anything back. So
that's dope.
It's great when we have us in the audience. Saturday afternoon, we had the first 2 rows. I would call them, it was like the auntie convention. Like they were there and they wanted to take care of us. They're like, "Breathe, baby," because we're dancing real hard. "Breathe, baby. Come on." Just like wanting, they were cheering us on. So that's wonderful. But yes, it is great when we have an audience that's like, they're seeing us for our humanity in a way that a lot of times we're not seen and we're not heard. And that's why the play was written in the first place.
Yes. I'm going to try to bring my niece to it because it blew my mind when do you remember the video for Erykah Badu, Bag Lady?
Yes.
And I automatically knew the reference when she was doing Bag Lady. We saw the rainbow, we saw the colors, we saw the women. And when my niece finally got the book and read For Color. She saw Eric. She's like, oh my gosh. I was like, wow, the generations that go by before you can actually get it. You know, she still hasn't seen the play, but I want to bring her now just to let her see it rather than read the book and the video. And, you know, it's interesting that this, like you said, every so many generations, it comes back around for us to grab. And I thought Erica did a good job in Bag Lady. You know,
she did a great job.
Yeah, she did.
D.Woods is here. For Color Girls is at the Booth Theater on 45th Street.
Let's rock it.
West 45th Street, Times Square,
bring your
citizens.
Mama, bring your auntie,
bring your whole
cousin,
family
bring everybody.
out.
Run it
this
up.
Is a family affair.
And bring the brothers too, because this message is in there for y'all too that you need to hear.
Yeah, I need to hear that.
Yes.
Y'all need to hear some of
that. Real quick, I know we were talking about Jesse Williams and you know, an audience member videotaping him, and then what's the fallout because of that? Him being nude and going viral. What's the talk around town on Broadway? Are there rules that are going to be made up, or some type of audience reform that we're going to initiative we're going to see?
I don't know, because I thought for that show that they actually take your phone.
They do.
Yeah,
Somebody
they do.
snuck it in,
Snuck it in.
yeah.
I don't know.
But I mean, the seats are sold out. You know.
Hey, all press is good press sometimes. I don't know, maybe, but
Yeah.
but for our show, you should just come. I mean, we ain't showing nothing, but there's a lot of thickness. There's a lot of fine chocolateness on the stage.
I'll be there. All right. And then, do you talk to any of the members of Danity Kane any longer?
I have not.
Okay.
In a long time.
What about the fellas?
The guy, like Day 26.
Yeah.
I haven't. We really have just gone our separate ways, and I've just really been trying to forge my lane. And, you know, I started my label, Wood Grain Entertainment, but putting my own music out, doing the film, the television, the theater. So I'm busy. I'm busy doing me and, you know, attracting positivity and abundance and
there you go.
That's
things
right.
like
and embracing
that.
that. Okay.
If Puff
Say
wanted
less.
a meeting,
Right. I sage and Palo Santo.
as you should.
Ashe.
If Puff wanted a meeting, D-Woods, because you know he has his new label just focused on R&B called Love Records. If he wanted a meeting to see how he could partner with your label, would you take it?
Can you repeat the question again?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was saying Puff,
Oh.
he has a new label under Motown that's focused on R&B called Love Records.
Okay.
If he wanted to partner with your label to figure something out, would you take a meeting?
I mean, we should always take meetings and just see what people are talking about. Because, I mean, you could be icing yourself, stopping your own blessing, blocking your own blessing. You just never know. But we have learned more things, so I'll probably definitely negotiate a lot more ruthlessly.
Yeah. And guess what?
is.
And you learned it through Puff.
I did.
So
that was like the best, post grad, education, because I did do music business and arts administration at NYU, but that's in the book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That was in the classroom. There ain't nothing like learning and living it. You know what I mean?
There you go.
On-site training.
Where you interpret things, right? Have to be. I know you got to go to Urban View.
Hit me up. I'm at the Happy Hour WHB on Instagram. God bless you. You keep killing it. You are absolutely beautiful. Keep killing it. And tell your
I
mother
agree.
and daddy we said hi.
Okay.
Please do. And your sister. All right. And then we want to thank Joel and Victoria Osteen for coming by. Check them out, Yankee Stadium, August 6th. His new book is out now. And they also have a station here at Sirius XM. D.Woods, how can they reach you?
Y'all can follow me on Instagram and at your girl D.Woods on all the social medias. All of them, it's the same thing. YA girl D.Woods. And check out MissDWoods.com. And also find me on all the streaming sites because I got music y'all can bump to.
Let them know.
And also come see me live at the Booth Theater. 8 shows a week. I'm there. I'm
Hurry.
sweating.
8 shows
I'm
a week.
dancing.
Come support for Color Girls on Broadway. Do it now. Take your families. Take the guys with you. We
I'll be
all
there.
should be in there. Tracy, how can they reach you?
Yes, I'll be there. Appreciate you so much, D.
Thank you for having
Twitter,
me.
absolutely. Twitter, Instagram is where you can hit me up at It's Tracy, GITSTRACY.
Gianni, thank you. All right, so you see Tracy, you see Heather. You can hit them direct. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, all right. I'm at Real Sway across the board. Tomorrow we got Rosie Perez that's going to join us, so make sure y'all tune in. Go to Sway's Universe. This is where we post all the interviews. You'll be able to check out D.Woods in a day or two. Depending on how fast Ty turns this around, we got to get it out. We want people to see For Color Girls on Broadway. All right, if there's nothing else you do, put your recreation money Go see For Color Girls on Broadway. You can see d.woods as the lady in yellow. Okay, but she know all the parts. All right, on that note, citizens, we have nothing left to say.